Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Hi everyone. So Laura and I grabbing a few minutes. We don't live around the corner from each other anymore, so we have a digital friendship now, don't we?
We have yeah, digital dates. Yeah.
So we are getting together just to talk a little bit about the Healing Song Circle, which is coming back to Glastonbury for the autumn equinox and for Samhain and for solstice, and they're all going to be quite
Yeah.
different. And so we thought we'd have a little bit of a chat that all you guys could kind of check in with if you want to know a little bit about what we're up to. And what we normally say is the Healing Song Circle. People go, well, like, what is it?
Yeah. And we
So,
always say it's
Laura, what
really
is
hard
it?
to. Oh, no, joking. No, we always say it's really hard to explain. You have to experience it, because people often come up and they think, do we have a set amount of songs for them to sing? Nope. It's such an organic and a powerful shamanic healing experience, but it's been so transformative for people, and we try to share something of it. So if you haven't been, you get a little taster of what it can be like and what you can gain from it. But yeah, it's not anything that is ever by the book. We have plans, we have journeys, but it is a completely soul-led healing and transformative experience where me and Kay have been doing this for many, many years. So we are so used to, and we kind of work best in that kind of rogue wild style, don't we?
Yeah.
We do. And we have plans, we have journeys throughout this where we can journey into different themes of the season, different deities of the season, different animals of the seasons, and then we create our own healing songs and drums and rattles. Journey. I have to get my special rattle out, of course. From that experience, so we can process whatever we're going through and whatever the healing is bringing up for us and the season's bringing up for us in raw and wild song, which is often absolutely powerful and can be really beautiful and ornate, or like a wild stomping roar. And that's what I love about the Healing Song Circle. Each time you're surprised, and the specific energy of it holds something really magical and powerful for the people involved.
Yeah, it's not music. I think that's
No.
what kind of we have to say to people. It's not a drum circle, which is
Yeah.
something that's more kind of understood by people. It's not kirtan. It's not like we're coming together to sing specific chants together, although sometimes we do a bit of that, and sometimes there is a little bit of drumming from the group, not just from us. But what we're creating, it's energy healing, and it's ritual, and it's ceremony.
Yeah.
And it's not music. Sometimes it doesn't even, not just wild, but sometimes it sounds bad.
Yeah.
Like there'll be a bit
Yeah.
of like a moment of it that just goes like, and you just think, oh my God. And I feel like normally, and we always say this, normally the bit where that happens, like something shifts and then suddenly the whole circle drops down into harmony once that thing has been moved. And it's
Yeah.
like when you're working on someone's body, for those of you that are healers, when you're working on someone's body, there'll be a point where it feels uncomfortable in your mood, and then you get the flow come back
Yeah.
again. And it's exactly that, but for the group. So it's like almost like a temple experience, but one that you can hear, that you can really engage your body with, because there's something really primal about singing, chanting, about breath work, about drumming, about like movement that sometimes come into it. Sometimes we're jumping all over the place, sometimes we're not, sometimes it's so gentle and we're sitting, and
Yeah.
but it depends on what comes through in the moment.
And that's what is beautiful about it. And yeah, and you said there's crunchy moments, and people often come for the first time with that very kind of given fear. Everyone has a fear about their own voice and they're going to be judged. And
Yeah.
I think everyone leaves just, even if they've just been able to release that a little bit, that is a healing in itself. Like,
Yeah.
this is not, no one is judging, no one's expecting. And sometimes people try and sing, it makes it worse, doesn't it? It's because it's not about trying to do anything, it's
Yeah.
being and
Yeah.
expressing who you are in that moment. It's not about going, which is terrible. But that was terrible. So, it's just if you express something that's real from you at this time, then it will work in that circle. And
Yeah.
that's such a powerful thing for people who are told you can't open your mouth and make a noise if you don't, if you don't sound like a, beautiful harmony singer. So just being able to use your voice in that environment where there's a group of us, so no one's listening to anyone in particular. It's a group sound, isn't it?
That's it. You're kind of protected
Mm.
to make sounds, or even sometimes people will verbalize prayers that they've got around that healing intention, and that will kind of you know, it protects them, whether they can say those things in a sacred environment, in a held space, because obviously you and I are both there. We're both, you know, we're not singers or drummers particularly. We are, I mean, we are that, but we're there as priestesses, as
Yeah.
holders of ritual space. We're there as healers to hold people in that safe space.
Yeah.
And so they've got that little bit of protection from us. Also, we're quite noisy, me and
We
you.
are. We
So
we make a noise.
we provide a lot of cover for any sound. And how it normally works, so we go in with plans, right? To a certain extent, we go in
We
with
do. We do. Yeah.
plans. We want to be responsible grown-ups, so we do have like a game plan of sorts before we arrive, obviously. And the Healing Song Circle has existed for over 2 years now, so it's
Yeah.
got its own energy that it holds
Yeah.
as well. But sometimes the plan just goes out the window. But normally the layout is we'll start by talking about the season, because we always tie our song circles to the seasons. We do them around the Sabbats. And then we would normally go in and do like a almost not quite a standard shamanic journey, but we'll
Mm.
lead people in like a shamanic drum journey. But it'll be both of us drumming, and we do bring in a lot of energy for that. And we usually sing for the group as part
Yeah.
of that journey. And then quite often there'll be then a song that we do together as a group after that, that might be like a release, or a, you know, that might be that tends to be the way that it goes. And then we'll have like a little break and then come back. They're 2 hours, the circles, so you know there's time to do a couple of bits, and then we'll do like the big song, which will be the calling in or the honoring or the change or the healing, based on what's come through for everyone in the first song and in the journey, right? That's
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it doesn't always work like that, but
No, but that's the
usually that's
usual.
the
Yeah.
standard.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's nice because I mean we are adaptable if things that come through are wanting a calling for a different energy. But it's also held pretty strongly, as you say, after the 2 years of it's got its own theme and its own groundedness.
Yeah.
And then we have a and then there's sometimes sometimes we have the themes of release and calling in, but we've got a special theme. Well, the next few months are going to be very exciting, aren't they? We've got quite
Yeah, we've got
we've,
really
we've,
fun
we've
stuff
got some
happening.
juicy stuff coming in.
Yeah. So the next one is on Sunday the 22nd of September, which is the
Yeah.
actual equinox.
Yeah.
It's unusual for us to do it on a Sunday night, but we try and
Yeah.
put it on the actual date if we can, because it just feels important to be in
Yeah.
that moment. And we're going to be specific. We don't do this all the time. We do it sometimes, working with specific deities. So we're going to be working with Persephone and Hades.
Oh, it just feels so good.
It feels really good. And we're going to be in a new venue. We're going to be moving around a little bit. It's still in Glastonbury, but we're going to be moving around a little bit in the next few. So next one's at the Miracles Room on Sunday the 22nd, and we're going to be looking at Persephone and Hades. And so the myth at this time is, you know, the abduction of Persephone, that she goes from being the maiden, the daughter of Demeter, like this beautiful flower-bearing maiden, you know, that's the light of her mother's life, that then gets taken down into Hades, into sort of the realm of the dead. And then there is the mourning that comes from Persephone, from Demeter. That means that everything, she will not give life to you know, the bounty of the land anymore while her daughter is gone. And there is this great search going on to see what happened, and it's Helios, the sun god, that actually saw what happened. And then depending on the versions of the myth, it will either be Hermes or Hecate is the guide that goes to get her and bring her back after a long period of searching. But in that moment, it's realized that she couldn't eat or drink while in the land of the dead, otherwise she couldn't leave. But she ate some pomegranate seeds, which is why we get this symbolize this festival with pomegranates a lot of the time. And so an arrangement has to be come to where she spends some part of the year. It would have been, I think, 3 months originally. It would have been around this time of year, but it would have been, the descent happens now, and then coming back later when the light starts to return, and that's when Demeter will give life to the earth again. And so there's this rendering of the myth in the modern mindset that says it's her abduction, or sometimes it's referred to as the rape of
Mm.
Persephone. But culturally and historically, obviously, there are, customs of like coming and taking the bride to be, and it doesn't mean abduction in the
Yeah,
sense that we know it now. And there's also the really super interesting part of the myth isn't that she was abducted or
yeah,
by this man, or that she was grieved by her mother. For me, the interesting thing is that when she goes down there, she becomes a queen. So it's
yeah,
actually a story of sovereignty and
yeah,
transformation and the power that comes in that dark space. So
yeah.
we're going to be playing with those ideas in the circle. Do you think?
Oh, 100%. And yeah, I mean, I never feel it like an abduction in that way. And
Mm.
also, there's so many myths, ancient myths of the descent of the goddess, where she has to go into the underworld, and she does it in other myths by choice. You know, she has to go down
Yes.
to get something, but she's like, I'm going down there to. And it's like a myth all over. The goddess, the maiden, has to go down and face death to grow into her full power. And that's the same, of course, with Persephone. And that's what it feels like. And almost fall in love with death. Not, to become, to see death and not be like, oh, you horrible
Yeah.
beast, but to look him in the eye and see death for who they are, which is obviously Hades and the underworld in this place. And only through that do they come into their true power, which is such a powerful journey for us to go on at this time of year as well, as we go into our own inner world, as the nights get darker and the spiral draws spiraling into our own quieter time. It's just the most lovely way to work with Persephone, to guide you through this balance of light and dark into our own darkness, into our own underworld, and to fall in love with the space we find there. So it's really beautiful. And when I first got into witchcraft, it was the autumn equinox, and Persephone ritual was the first one I ever attended, and it was that call
Really?
of Persephone. Yeah, yeah. It was, and I'd seen an open ritual. I've been to open rituals, but when I chose to take part, it was the autumn equinox, Persephone and Hades ritual, and I just always feel like she was a call. Come on, down we go into this journey.
I think it was the first ritual I was ever a part of in a group was was the autumn equinox. I don't
Yeah,
know what year this would have been.
I reckon
2004
five,
maybe.
4, 5.
Like,
Yeah, around that time, back in the
obviously
yeah,
sort of practicing on my own and had been to other
yeah.
things, but it was first one, and there was like a ritual drama in it, and I played
Mm.
Persephone. I was abducted.
That's brilliant. And yeah, and it's so good that we could do this within the Healing Song Circle, to heal all those. It might bring up a lot of different feelings of resistance or to joy. A lot of witches love diving into autumn and the darker times of the year, but there's still stuff that could, and me also. But it's such a beautiful way to begin this autumn season, going down, spiraling down with Persephone, meeting Hades, and blessing that journey for our own path into autumn and winter.
Yeah, and it is for me. This is a time of like coming into power, but
Mm,
it is that difficult power when we talk about darkness and winter as coming in and being the more the leaves are dropping, like it's a death thing. But for us to think of that as the time that's needed for us to become wise, for us to review the
yeah,
planting of the year and all that sort of thing, it's really powerful. But it does feel um inherently like a female mystery when we
yeah,
talk about it like that. And
yeah,
I think it's important to, and I think there's a lot to that. It's moving from, being the maiden into being a woman, being a queen, finding your own power. The other part of the story that sort of gets a little bit sidelined, I think, is about the presence of Hades
yeah,
himself and the sort of the male sovereignty and, you know,
yeah,
what kind of leader and partner and king he was and what he represents and how that's frightening to us but necessary,
yeah,
the realm that he is the lord of is something that is frightening to us in our culture, in a lot of cultures, but it's also necessary.
yeah.
So
Hugely, inescapably
we need to
necessary.
bring that in as well, and I think we're going
Right,
to probably
absolutely.
do the plan that we will not be held to. But the plan is definitely to do some work in that
Yeah,
Persephone realm and to do some work in
yeah,
that Hades realm.
definitely.
So it's not going to be like I mean, it's never a women's circle anyway. It's always
No,
any
no.
seed that wants to come. But we need to, I think, explore, because equinox is also about balance.
Balance. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I'm really up for that. And there's this really lovely animation. I don't know if you've seen it. It's really old now. It's like a stop motion animation of the Persephone descent into the underworld and meeting Hades, and I just love it. And it's when she first meets him, you know, he's a bit haggard and old, and she's like, oh, I don't want to be there. But through them being together, he gets, you know, he becomes more beautiful. He looks like, I don't know, some goth rock singer. I'm like, oh, he's a lovely cartoon character. And they just fall in love, and it's that, it's meant for children, but I absolutely, it just seems to hit the energy right, like it's kind of the descent and the thing's face there, and actually her coming into her power. So yeah, I'll share that on our little page. Actually, I'll share it on the
Yeah, I
Healing
think
Song
that we
Circle
should. I
page.
think that'd be lovely. I've not
Yeah,
seen
I love it. It's making, and I've loved it for like 20 odd years. I've loved that cartoon. It's like every time of year, like let's put that on.
Yeah,
And
I think there's something about the development of Hades in that space.
mm,
Shared sovereignty,
yeah,
shared holding of space, shared building of something. There's something in that that's always felt powerful to me. And I don't
yeah,
find Hades to be um, a frightening deity
no,
to be in the
no,
presence of.
me
Uh,
neither.
yeah.
No. So I'm looking
Uh,
forward to it. And also, you know, whatever our plans are, however they go on the actual day, we are going, which will go fantastically. We are going to be producing some meditations, aren't we, as well, some journeys.
and this is fun, right? Because we made like little wild demo recordings before, when we just get together and go, let's channel a thing, and sort
And
of
suddenly we
let's
invoke
just
the gods of war.
oh, I mean, we that was an accident, Laura, and I don't want to take responsibility for it. But yeah, we've approached the recording of stuff that we've done. We never record in the circle, right? And I
No,
think
no,
that's important.
yeah,
I don't think I mean, there's times I'll do it in like closed teaching scenarios where I might
yeah,
like record something for those students to take away. But I think there's something that diminishes the magic of recording active healing work, active magical process just doesn't sit right for me. And also, we don't want anyone to feel like they're gonna maybe
yeah,
not make that sound or make that movement. So we never
exactly.
record the actual live things. So those are once, you know, they never happen again. But when we do the recordings that we've done up to now, and we've shared little bits of them on the Vicky Fire page, it's quite yeah, it can be a bit rogue, but we've decided to make something that's a bit more accessible, because not everyone can come to Glastonbury.
No, it's true. It's a shame. It's a shame.
Not everyone can come and see us, and sometimes they're so busy, the circles, we have had to turn people away before because we have
Yeah,
limited space that we can hold for them. So we've decided that we're going to record 2 journeys, one sort of healing journeys. So for
yeah,
people to receive healing, they're going to be recorded in ceremony. They'll have healing energy in them. We will approach them in the same way that we approach all of our, if people do work with us individually or if they've come to the circles, they know how we work. So there's going to be like power and intention and energy in them. We're going to do one healing journey to Hades and one
mm,
healing journey to Persephone, and we're going to release those a little bit before the actual equinox, so that if people can't come, or even if they can, we're not going to
yeah.
go in and then
It'd be
redo
different.
those for
It
the
can
live.
deepen. Yeah, it can be deepen their experience. Like you could prepare with that or work with it afterwards. So that would
Yeah,
be the nice way if you're coming to make it a
yeah,
real intense power thing.
yeah. But it means we can release this stuff so that other people
Yeah,
can you know, there were some people when we were posting about it, there was a few people that we know
yeah.
in
In
the States
America and
that were like,
everything,
we can't come. So well, yes, that's
we
a
will
lot
come to you
of
via the internet. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we'll do that. And so, you know, if you are able to come, because again, please do book in advance, because if you are coming, but you're traveling, we have had to turn people away in the past. So it is good to let us know you're coming so we can make sure there's a space for everybody. And you can listen to these songs before or afterwards if you want to. So it's going to be beautiful. And we've got some other plans we can talk about obviously nearer the time, but should we mention our little other plans for the rest of the year?
Let's do it, because we get excited about
Yes,
things.
yes, yes. So it's on Samhain itself, which is a Thursday this year, isn't it?
Yeah, Thursday, the 31st of October. This one's in the Avalon room, which is the bigger room where we
Yeah,
do the Norn song work that
which
people
was
have
an
come
epic.
to.
Yeah, I think which is it's for the Morrigan. It's the Morrigan song. I think she was like, "Why have the Norns got this size room? I think I need this size room
Yeah,
too."
yeah, it's a bit of a bigger event, isn't it, than
Yeah,
normal? So
yeah,
our normal song circles are 2 hours, and we hold the space and we do a journey and we do some songs together, and then there's a little bit of sharing time, and it's sort of it's a much smaller event. But this is 3 hours, Laura Dallaghan.
Well, 3 hours for the Morrigan. I cannot guarantee what state me and Kay Gillard will be in at the end of it.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be epic.
It's going to be healing songs. We'll still do drum journeys, and everyone will still participate. These are community healing events, aren't they?
Yeah.
But we are going to be exploring the energy of the Morrigan then, and there'll be a much more sort of ceremonial, guided ritual situation.
I can't wait.
Possibly a little bit of oracular work.
Yeah, I reckon it's going to come. No,
I think that'll be really, really powerful, coming in and exploring that sort of battle energy, but also it's sovereignty again, isn't it? She is a queen. She is a bestower of sovereignty on others. It's fascinating stuff to do.
I think, you guys, if you're able to come to both, you can go on a journey of discovering sovereignty at the equinox and exploring it in its full power at Samhain. So there's a chance of kind of really going on that journey, and because Morrigan she's been a big part of our lives. She's been a big part of our lives. And it's such deep and powerful work. And there are bits of facing this very fierce feminine, but at the heart of it, there's this raw love. You face all this fierceness and power and things that people kind of like to depict the Morrigan as, of this kind of bloodthirsty goddess, which is a yes, there is but at the heart of that, when you get that's not that, there's something very powerful of she's also a goddess of the land. She is also a goddess of the tribes, of the people, of really sticking up for the things that are important to you. So there is these aspects as well, but we have to go through our own fears first. We have to face our own shit.
and more so with her, it's in that harsh, in your face way, isn't it? As a bestower of sovereignty, and as a leader of the people, and as one who is cares about the caretakers of the land and the shape of the land itself. Persephone has this sort of softness that comes with that beginning part of it. We meet her always before she descends, so there's a softness there, and it's about growing into your power in more of a quiet way, whereas the test of the Morrigan in all her forms, I think, is to judge your integrity, to test your mettle at that point, and the veils are very thin, so there's an opportunity for visionary work and transformation in a very different way than is available at the equinox. And then we're exploring sovereignty in a different way again for winter solstice. It's interesting to see. We don't normally plan 3 in advance. We tend to just sort of as we go along. But it felt really important. You can really see the theme of that now, actually.
I hadn't really thought about it until we start talking about
actually
I see what we're
doing. Because for winter solstice, which we're doing again actually on solstice on the 21st of December, we'll be back at White Rabbit where we started, which we love, back in our little White Rabbit room, and we will be working with the rebirth of the sun and the stag energy as an archetype and as a representative of sovereignty of the land, which it is in all of our myths that are native to this land and all the lands around here. All of kind of European mythology has some kind of leaning into that in the old stories. So we'll be exploring then in a very different way in this sort of coming into like freshly formed sovereignty, reborn sovereignty in a very masculine way, will be explored in there. So we're all about sovereignty. That's nice.
We are. And we've got the balance at the equinox. We've got the feminine power at Samhain and the masculine at solstice. Love our plan.
Look how balanced we are. It's almost like we did it on purpose, almost. But it's just what came through, isn't it? We do our journeys and our readings to see what
and feel into
where and when.
And the Morrigan's been really wanting a song circle for a while, and we are here to provide that.
Yeah, I think so. And for that one, I think people can expect for it to maybe be sort of powerful and wild in some aspects, but for me the most peaceful experiences that I've had with deity
Yeah,
have also been the Morrigan.
me too.
There is a
Absolutely.
peace that comes on the other side of
Yeah,
bravery, on the other side of terror, on the other side of battle,
yeah,
internally speaking. Um,
absolutely.
that is, you can only reach that level of peace by being in the extreme that comes before it. It's that balance again.
No, I totally get it. And last year I was running an online retreat with the Morrigan, and I warned everybody so deeply. I warned everyone how it's going to be this intense thing. And it was, it was actually just very deeply peaceful. And it was very deep. And I'm not saying that you can't guarantee that's how it's going to be, but I think everyone was really prepared, and they were, okay, we're ready. And they're like, okay, well, it was deeply peaceful for people. I was like, oh, good, I'm glad. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that is a part of her that sort of doesn't get the Morrigan. Well, actually, it was Nemain, the specific
Mm,
form of the Morrigan that I was working with, was the first oracular work I ever did. And it was honestly so peaceful. Like, it felt like something in my body that just, I don't know, it was really deep. She's got that aspect to her that I've always been aware of with her, but I do think
yeah,
it's potentially quite hard to see it from the outside, or maybe even to access it. So that's the key to it, really. When we do these healing song circles, we're not like, oh, let's get together and play some drums and la la la. They're supposed to be healing experiences. That's the first one. That really is what it is. It's a
yeah,
community healing experience. So something can transition and change, something can become clear. And we've had people contact us and say, like, I'm a different person from having done a
yeah,
year of these song circles.
yeah. We've
My
seen
life has
absolute
changed
trends.
through this.
Yeah,
We've seen people transform into something else, and their lives
yeah,
transform into something else.
yeah,
And so it is that healing thing that's through coming into contact with it in a new way, so you can actually have that experience yourself as a participant. This isn't an academic exercise.
no, no. And it'd be good if someone at some point did an academic research on it to see how it does work. But we just know in our hearts and souls and what we see how powerfully it does work, and how, from so many different levels, from the power of using your own voice to the journeys we go on to the drumming and the group experience of holding that healing, how it heals and transforms and supports people.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
Me
So
too.
that's what we've got coming up,
Yeah,
guys. We thought we
yeah.
would come on and tell you what the song circle is. I don't know whether we've done that or not. We've said, hey, we don't really know what it's going to be until the day, but that's the joy of it. Well, I hope we've explained like the essence and the intention of
Yeah,
them, and also what we're going to be doing in the upcoming one, which is in the Miracles Room in the Glastonbury Experience Courtyard on the 22nd of September.
yeah. I
Persephone
think
and
it just takes, like, because of that sense of unknown, it just takes the courage of stepping through that and coming in is all you need. Is all you need, just to be open and go, I'm coming into this, and or just feel it. If you feel drawn to it, just come along for one of them and just see, or for all of them, that'd be absolutely, but just see how it feels for you. We try to explain it as much as we can, but the essence of it does need to be experienced. You don't need to bring anything. If you want to bring your drum or your rattles, you're welcome, but just come with that courage of, like, I'm gonna come into this space and see what it has for me, and we will do our best to hold that for you as epically as we can.
absolutely. You can be a complete beginner, never
Yeah,
journeyed before, never meditated before, never been in ritual before. You can
we've
do
had
that
we've
because,
experienced that with people. They've come in with even
yeah,
almost like an anti, like they've come here because somebody else was coming along or they didn't really want to
yeah,
come, and they've had the most powerful transformative experience. So
yeah, yeah. That's definitely been the case. And this is what we do for. Well, this is what we do for a living, and it's what we do and have done for many years, probably like over 20 years,
over
25 years, something
20,
like that.
yeah,
Yeah, of holding space for other people. So it's a safe space for a beginner to
yeah,
come and
it
do this
really
work,
is.
but it's
Yeah,
also a safe space for an experienced person to let go and go deeper, especially those of us that do this work for others. Sometimes we need a space that's held for us, so
yeah,
it's our opportunity to do that for people, isn't it, as well?
yeah, absolutely. I'm excited.
I'm excited too, and we're excited to share our Persephone and Hades healing song
Yeah,
journeys with you. They're going to be really fun, guys, and we're creating those together, and they're going to be unlike anything that we've released before. So we're
no,
really excited about those. It's going to be really fun.
yeah,
But thank you,
absolutely.
Laura, for coming on here and
No,
explaining what it is that we actually do to people.
try to our wonderful madness. Yeah.
We hope we will see some of you guys there for the the descent into an exploration of sovereignty that we're
Mm,
going to be holding over the autumn and the winter. We're really excited
love
about
it.
that. We hope to
Yeah.
see some of you guys there. And we will see you again soon. Thank you,
Yeah.
Laura.
Thank you, Kate. Mwah. See you soon. Bye.